You're going to come on and you are going to talk about financial planning, and I think
sir.
you're licensed in what, life insurance and other things?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
Good morning, number one.
Good morning. Go introduce yourself a little bit closer to the microphone. Tell folks who you are and a little bit about yourself.
My name is Chris Kelson. Well, I want to just tell you I appreciate you for having me on here, man.
Absolutely, Mr. Kelson.
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, born and raised out of a neighborhood called Sherwood Forest.
Okay.
Went to Bel Air High School. And I just grew up in the city, man, and I grew up in a single mother household. So the being in the financial services is really dear to me because it was a lot of things that I seen and I grew up in, things that I wasn't taught from a financial standpoint, that when I got older, I felt like I should have been up on game on, but now I had the knowledge and I can go teach it to other people, you know.
Wow. And so when you say grew up in a single parent household, you mean y'all had to figure out a way to manage the finances, huh?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
and you know, when you're growing up in a household like that, you know, your parents try to provide the best lifestyle for you. So when you're young, if you have everything, you might not know what your parents dealing with to make ends meet for you.
Amen to that.
And
you don't know how they're suffering to be able to make sure you're taken care of.
Exactly. So when you get older, you see that, man, okay, maybe it was some things mom didn't tell me, not because she didn't want to, but maybe she just didn't know. And I'm like, man, I have to break the cycle on that from a financial standpoint because I came up in a household where principles and morals were instilled in the work ethic, but not financial literacy. Yeah.
And, you know, that's interesting. I don't think you're alone in that, where we grew up in a household where we were taught morals and values, but very little talk about money.
Right.
And do you think it's because most of our minority households don't have the money? Because I don't think it's that our parents don't care to teach us that.
Right.
Why do you think that managing your money isn't something that's talked about often in households for people of color like you and me?
That's a great question. So we do have the money. We just don't know what to do with it, right? It's so many distractions. We waste at least $7 to $10 a day, which is probably about $200 to $300 a month.
A little closer to me. Everybody, a little closer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. So we do have the money, right? So we talking about we might waste about $7 to $10 a day, which is $200 to $300 a month. We have the money, we just don't know what to do with it. And it's so many distractions from entertainment to clothes and things like that. You know, African Americans, we spend about $1 trillion a year, but we don't own anything.
Right.
So, and I don't blame my people. So I know a lot of people, they like to get on their horse and they like to down talk the black people, but I'm one of those people. I know that we really ignorant, and if you can't teach something that you wasn't taught, you know.
Right.
So I'm very passionate about that, and when I go to talk to our people, I meet them at a level where they can understand, because I know that they don't mean no harm. Because when you educate the right person, when it makes sense, they're like, man, I should have known that, and they change their habits for the most part. So I don't think it's intentionally. I just think that we don't know, and we can't teach nothing that we don't know. Exactly.
So what services do you offer that you can help anybody, especially people of color, manage their money better and build their financial well-being, make it stronger?
Financial game plan. So I sit down with people and I put together a full financial game plan from front to back, meaning I'm going to teach you about investing. I'm going to show you exactly specifically what investing is about, because I don't use big words. So when I sit down with people, I'm going to teach you what an investment means, what type of investments are out there. From a life insurance standpoint, I'm going to teach you what's the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance. That's something that's...
Why is life insurance important?
Oh, man. Have you ever seen GoFundMe?
Yes.
You have seen GoFundMe, right?
Yes,
right?
I have.
And that's not the joke, because I know people who've had to use GoFundMe as a substitute. But life insurance is important because in our community, we're taught that it's just used for burial, when really the real purpose of life insurance is to replace the income, you know, and to build wealth. So that's something that our community is definitely not big on, because we just taught to buy burial policies. So when I'm speaking on that, it's very dear to me, because I understand that, hey man, we not taught that. We just going to get $10,000 of life insurance, where other ethnicities, they're going to get $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 life insurance policies, and when they pass away, their kids already set, which means they already have a stepping stone, and we starting back from scratch. When our parents die, we left with dead memories.
Right. So you do offer life insurance?
Most definitely, yeah, most definitely.
What else do you offer?
The full financial game plan. Right now, I'm studying to get my Series 6 license. So I do teach investments, but if anybody wants to implement an investment plan, then I just direct them to a partner of mine that does the investments. The game plan, like I say, is free, getting out of debt. Also, when I do the full game plan for you, you can walk away with it. You can start it at any time. But for the most part, I'm licensed in life insurance, homeowners, car insurance, and renters insurance.
Okay, so homeowners insurance.
Correct.
Okay, so homeowners, if you need some homeowners insurance, Mr.
Yep.
Kelson is right here in the studio.
Most definitely.
On Facebook Live. Now, let's talk about this rental insurance, because I rented for many years.
Right.
And then, I bought a home maybe about 20 years ago, but Hurricane Katrina hit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my friends that had rented were in deep trouble.
Right.
And I'm sure even with the Great Flood of 2016, and most of my peers, that rent or that have rented in the past, they didn't really think they needed renters insurance.
Yeah.
But when the flood hit in 2016, and especially I remember when Katrina hit, our renters were left out there on their own.
Right.
Because based on the policies, if you were renting, the landlord, the homeowner, got the benefits of insurance or FEMA,
right,
or any state road home money. The renters, they were struggling.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know how big of a market the rental insurance market is, but especially in the minority community where many of us do rent, we really need to talk about that rental insurance.
Yeah, the renter's insurance is very important. And I say that it's important because I found that out too with the big flood that came through. It was even some people that had renter's insurance that still didn't get paid from what I heard. Mm-hmm. And then also it was people who were in a zone, from what was told to me, where renter's insurance wasn't needed. Mm-hmm. Because of the way that their housing was. So of course you're not going to buy something that you didn't think that you needed. Right, exactly. Right. So when you try to file your claim, people were getting, things back saying like, hey, well, you should have had renter's insurance. And it's like, well, their rebuttal was, well, I didn't get it because they said that I didn't need it in the part of town that I stayed in. Right. So I would strongly recommend, getting not just with somebody like myself, but somebody that does offer renter's insurance, and asking them, to get educated more on it. Because I know some people look at that as an extra fee in their household if it's not mandatory when you stay in an apartment. Right. So it's like, I would say get educated on that first and find out, do you really need, what's the advantages, the disadvantages to it, and then make an educated decision going from there.
Well, yeah, and I think educated decisions are important, but oftentimes, again, in households where finances are limited, we tend to decide not to take advantage of things like insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance, home insurance, and it's not until it happens, when that tragedy happens, that you regret it.
Correct.
Even at my home outside of New Orleans, when Hurricane Katrina hit, I remember vividly sitting at my table when I bought my home some 20 years ago, the realtor telling me, you don't need flood insurance.
Right.
It'll never flood here.
Right.
And after Katrina, 6 feet of water, I learned differently. Now, I don't care where I'm living at. I don't care what zone I'm in. I'm going to get that, and thank God I can afford it.
Right.
But we really need to figure out a way to ensure that people are educated about insurance and not shun away from it. But get the life insurance on your family members and your friends, and advise your friends to do the same thing, because it's a way to take care of your family if a tragedy happens. But it's also a big wealth builder. It's proven to be a big wealth builder in other communities. Yeah,
I think it's, like you said, it's a wealth builder. And, with us, sometimes we're more reactive than proactive. So, there have been times I done sat down with clients who might see the need for what it is that I offer, but like you say, due to finances or timing is not right, or they thinking they have time, then it takes them maybe getting in a car accident and they living, and then they call me back and say, I'm ready to get that insurance,
right.
And I understand it, because when things tighten, when you got kids, they play sports, it's like, hey man, I've been living this long and ain't nothing happening to me. So, I might could go.
A lot of young people too.
Yeah, and we think we have time, and I've seen it, man. I had a cousin, she passed away about 2-3 years ago, rest her soul, and she had 8 kids, and I would try to get, man, look, let's sit down, let's get together, let's sit down. and she passed away from an aneurysm. 8 kids, no life insurance. Her body sat in the morgue for over about 30 days, and they had to fry fish, do supper dinners, and I didn't beat myself up too hard because I was doing my due diligence. But at the end of the day, like I say, we're more reactive than proactive. So I think to offset that, I'm always thinking of a solution. Anybody that offers the same services I offer, don't just go in the house or sit down with people and sell. Like, really educate them, because people, they see more value when you educate them. And now, not only can they make an educated decision, but they feel like they're liberated. You've done a good job when they can leave you and go tell their co-workers kind of a little bit of what you just said. And then that makes them kind of make a decision based off of emotion, because they feel like you taught them something.
Right, so have an agent that's willing to sit down with you and educate you.
Yeah.
So tell me this, how does somebody reach you if they wanted to come put together a financial plan, or if they wanted to come and get some life insurance or rental insurance? How can they reach out and get you, Mr. Kelson?
Yeah, Money Coach Chris. You can find me online at
Money Coach Chris.
Money Coach Chris on Instagram and on Facebook, or you can just call my line directly, 713-568-6390. And Dr. Gilmore, I just wanted to let the people know that's listening outside of this, with Money Coach Chris, I am also a local artist in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
So I use the platform, my notoriety in Baton Rouge as a rapper. My name is Boxx The Hungry Genius. I use that platform to also shed light to the Money Coach Chris, because a lot of people know me as a rapper first, but I got into the financial industry to take the income from that to fund my music career. So I'm out here campaigning. I call myself the pandemic president, and I'm just liberating the people through my music, and also I'm liberating them through financial literacy. So both sides.
Impressive. You're using your gifts and talents to liberate people.
Just to connect. I'm just the vessel. God is the one that's using me,
Very good. Well, I'm glad to have met you this morning. I'm glad that you came on the show.
Yeah.
And I want our people to support you and to get their finances in order and to put together a financial plan to really consider purchasing life insurance, homeowners insurance,
yes, sir,
rental insurance, because when tragedy happens, and none of us are exempt from tragedy happening.
No.
And it can come at any time. And we need that support to be able to stay on our feet, and
sir,
even be a catalyst to bigger financial wealth.
Yes, sir.
So you can turn that tragedy into triumph. Thank you very much,
I appreciate
Coach
you,
Chris. I appreciate you being on my show. Give your phone number one more time, or whatever you want to give one more time for folks who want to be able to reach you.
Yeah, you can reach me at 713-568-6390, or on Instagram or Facebook, Money Coach Chris.
Appreciate you here.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.